Hey guys, Josh Salvador here, helping you go further in fashion. First off, a couple things to say. Sorry in advance if my voice does sound muffled. I am sick, which explains why I'm shooting a video instead of going to school. Now, first thing I'd like to say is to thank you all personally for all the support on my latest video, which was the SneakerCon vlog video. It did break a lot of records when it comes to my channel. It did 600 views in just 2 days, and currently it's at 4,000 minutes watched. So that was a really big thing, and I'd like to thank all of you. And it was honestly a video I was most pleased about. But let's get on the video and hit that intro. How did I shoot that SneakerCon vlog video? I shot it with a Canon M50, which basically everything with the vlogging kit, it did set me back about $1,000. I was able to make $1,000 with no part-time job just yet, just by doing one thing: reselling sneakers. Now, as all of you probably know, I'm an avid sneakerhead and a sneaker collector, whether a hype beast, whatever, and probably the most shoes I've ever had at one point was probably 47 pairs, and I only honestly wore about 20 pairs. The rest I probably just kept for display or to add market value to my collection. So to make me some money to buy my camera in that short amount of time, I did end up selling about 15 pairs of sneakers. Now, you probably want to get on this reselling game as well. You've probably seen a lot of your friends do it. You've probably seen a couple of your favorite YouTubers do it, and they seem to be making in money, and you probably want to get into that business as well. Now, I can tell you firsthand that it's not really as easy as people make it up to be. You have to deal with people flaking on your deals. You have to deal with striking out on online releases, and you need to deal with taking L's and camping out and being dedicated to that sneaker release. But you know what? I'm here to give you the best tips possible to make sure that you're successful in reselling your own sneakers. Now, when you're probably just trying to start off, I'm trying to tailor this tip or tailor this video to a more average student who is interested about buying sneakers and interested about the value that sneakers do have. And when you're starting off, you probably don't want to buy those hype sneakers, or you have to stay up at night just to input all your credit card details only to find out that your item that you're wanting to buy sold out in 0.3 seconds. My advice is to hit up the Nike outlets or some other sneaker outlets where you can buy a pair of cheap shoes that your friends will buy, and it will be an easy to sell shoe. My advice is to hit up the Nike outlets. Usually pick the times where it's a special event or a holiday time season thing, so you can get that extra 30 to 40% off of your store wide. And pick up a pair of cheap basic Nike, Adidas, or Puma shoes that you think will sell when you're trying to sell it to your friends. And pick up a pair of cheap basic Nike black shoes that will easily sell to your friends or people around you for a bit more money than what you paid for it. You can probably buy a shoe like the Nike Roshi Run for about $40 to $50, then sell them to your mate for $70 to $80, or even $100 if you're that good and you know who to sell it to. Make sure you tell them the retail price so they know what kind of steal that they're getting. If you're unsure about the type of shoes that you should be buying, my advice is to show them a few pics of the sneakers online, and then get the confirmation and either probably get the money as well before you buy the shoe. So there it's confirmed, and it's safe. You're not going to be losing money just in case they flake out on you. It's kind of like the PayPal buyer protection guarantee, but in a real life scenario. Now, if you're not buying sneakers, if you're not buying products tailored to anybody's preference or need, then my advice is to buy a basic shoe that that people will buy and wear, average people. Because sometimes when I wear shoes, people are just yo, my Puma Thunder Spectres, for example, people don't really understand the design and fashion that comes with it. So don't try and sell a pair of $800 shoes to someone that doesn't really care about fashion, doesn't really care about the type of sneakers and limited. They just want a pair of shoes that'll get the job done. So yeah, make sure you buy those types of shoes that really tailor and really fit that person's style or current vibe that they give off. And also pick the right shoe size depending on your age group, because the last thing you want is to buy a pair of size 8s but then you're trying to sell it to your group of 15-year-old friends. There are some people that have that shoe size, but your range of audience is going to be much smaller than if you buy a common shoe size like a size 10, 11, or like a size 9 even. Now, being a reseller isn't easy. I sell to my friends or people at school that know me, that watch my videos, or even just view my Instagram stories online that I post. And that's another thing. Advertising your products that you want to sell is a really easy way to try and get more traffic into your shoes or your types of products that you want to sell, especially if you have a large amount of people that follow you. I think the most stressful thing about being a reseller is chasing up people that want to buy my stuff. You have to compromise, you have to sacrifice your time a little bit just to meet up with them, sort everything out. It does make my job much harder, but in the end, don't be discouraged if you're not really looking forward to that. It doesn't happen that frequently, and the reward in money outweighs the bad, I suppose. And you don't forget that you do need the money in the end. To sum up this video, the pros of being a reseller is making so much money, downsizing your collection to something that's not absurd and ridiculous, and it also gives you a better connection to the community that you're in locally, and most importantly, it does teach you business management and business etiquette, and it does teach you how to manage your money correctly. I like to compare buying and selling sneakers to buying investment properties, to buying shares on a stock market, because you need to understand when to sell, when to buy, and when to hold off. So say you had a pair of Travis Scott Air Jordan 1s. When it first released, it didn't release. When it first came out, like the small amount of stock did come out, not to the public. They were going for what, like $2,000. Now when they dropped, like I think around April, around Super Bowl weekend or something, they went to like $900 US. But then people that sold back then, they were just like, oh, maybe I should sell it right now. But if you actually held out, they go for about $2,000 now. So yeah, knowing when to sell and knowing when to buy is a really valuable thing that you should know about. I suppose the cons of being a reseller is storing all of the shoes that you're selling. Here, if I show a clip, this is when I opened my locker for school, and it was really hard for me to fit my big ass school bag into my locker, which already has school books and already has lab coats in it, and fitting 3 pairs of sneakers with boxes. It does get a little bit hectic. It was incredibly hard for me to manage that. I had about 3 pairs of shoes at one point, and it was also really stressful for me because there were 3 pairs of expensive shoes, and you know, people were walking by and seeing all my shoes, and I was just like, far out. But yeah, luckily they're all gone now. I did sell them, but at the time it was really stressful to keep them in my locker. Sometimes they fell out when I was trying to put stuff in, and it was really hard just to, it was really tedious just to put all the sneakers in there. Now guys, that pretty much wraps up this video. I hope I was able to give you more of an insight on how I make my money usually and how I earn fast cash to buy certain items. Now, this is a small series that I'll be starting on the channel that basically shows the pros and cons of different categories that fit with fashion or streetwear, or in the streetwear culture. Hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in another video. Peace.